How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Continues to Tick. I hope you guys all had a nice weekend or extended weekend this last week. Strange times we're living in, no doubt. But here we are, nevertheless, in December of 2020, the home stretch of the year. I'm sure we all can have our guesses what the page flipping to next year may or may not look like. I mean, it's hard to look into next week, let alone next month/next year. But it does appear like the COVID-related lockdowns are unfortunately creeping back on us again. So we'll definitely see how the market reacts to it this time. But stay safe out there, everybody. I want to take the time to say a nice thanks to those who are new subscribers to the channel, or anyone just swinging by for the first time. I've noticed the subscriber counter slowly trickle upwards. We're quite close to the 20 subs right now, which is really cool. I don't plan on stopping this series anytime soon. So if you enjoy this series, hit that like button. It does help. And definitely also subscribe if this style of series is something you really enjoy. Right now I'm primarily focusing on this dividend growth portfolio journey series, which I really do enjoy documenting as it helps me track my process, starting from the quote-unquote bottom. And the idea is to slowly show over time with consistency and discipline that the average individual can build a nice and worthwhile dividend growth portfolio, one that will allow me to buy back my time and the opportunity to retire earlier than I can even imagine. With that said, I also plan to slowly incorporate other video series ideas or styles into my channel as time and energy allows, such as my Watching My Father Age video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's something I really enjoyed making, and I am planning to hopefully make more video styles like this in the future. But don't be surprised if you see other style videos every now and then on my channel, as I continue to also play with some creativity, all with the idea of hoping to display, my fascination with time and just thinking of the future. So stay tuned for some of those things to come. But now, before I jump into this week's portfolio, I wanted to briefly transition to the bigger topic of today's video, which is why do I plan financially for the future and why do I have this mindset? So like I've said many times, my mind is constantly in the future. I try not to live there, but just as I feel this is my greatest strength, in contrary, I also believe it's likely my biggest weakness also. When I think of my future, I imagine myself with financial stability. I think of myself well taken care of financially. All this with the goal of also not planning on working forever. I'll definitely contribute to society, don't get me wrong. I want to. I'll do my part, but following that, I'm ultimately wanting to be in a position to have the choice to work or not to, or quote unquote work on something I like doing, or something I don't or wouldn't classify as work, such as planting seeds or making more YouTube videos, hiking, traveling, or attempting van life, But in order to do this freely or comfortably for me, I first believe I need to reach financial stability first. What I do know for sure now is that I don't want to work forever or be unable to retire ever. Many people have to go through this, and it does hurt me to see, especially when it's those that I care about, and I want to avoid this if possible. That is why I plan for my financial future now, thinking about retirement now at the age of 25 or 1.5 years into the workforce. I currently have one of the most important assets or gifts literally provided to us humans, and that is time. I have time on my side. That is why I started a dividend growth portfolio. That is why I decided to work for the state of California and hopefully build up a pension. That is why I'm also saving up for real estate and also currently growing saguaro cactus seeds, which take forever to grow, by the way. I do understand life isn't guaranteed, tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and life can surely pull us in at any time. And being heavily leaned forward will also make me fall, just as leaning too far back will. But with this said, I still continue to be more future focused than thinking of the past. It's just how I'm wired, and it's hard for me to break that. To summarize why I plan financially for the future now, I think the best way for me to explain this is to use the analogy of comparing financial stability, or more specifically a dividend growth portfolio, to starting a campfire on a cold, dark night. As you've seen, heard, or even attempted for yourself, to start a fire can be quite difficult. Early stages of building a fire are quite tedious and delicate. A lot of upfront work goes into starting a fire, and the better prepared the fire base and structure, the more wood collected up front to feed the fire once started, the stronger and longer lasting that fire, the easier also it becomes to manage. For me, building my dividend growth portfolio right now is like starting a fire. It's a lot of work up front and likely is not providing much incentive for me now. Its size is currently small. I have a lot invested for a small return. Not so much comfort being provided to me just yet, but with time and an executed plan or course of action, great preparation, this dividend growth portfolio will soon be literally self-sustaining and snowballing very well. And back to the fire analogy, that passive income pillow produced from the dividend growth portfolio, it's the equivalent of the warmth produced from that nicely structured and carefully put together campfire. Similar in both cases, you'd go to bed sleeping well at night. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into the portfolio review for this week. So here we are this week in the Jesse's cash flow portfolio, $11,658. We're getting further and further from $10,000, which is nice. All time, we're in the green, up 18%, which is pretty good for a dividend growth portfolio. It's not a growth portfolio, it's not Tesla, but 18% is something that I can definitely hang my hat on. And I know this can swing, it can change. If you've seen my other videos, it definitely swings and changes, but I can appreciate where it is right now. And this week, I can also appreciate the fact that I got paid quite a bit in dividends, which I'll show you here in a bit. But the 18% is a gain of $973, almost $1,000. So no complaints from me. All time, like I said, we're in the green. Day-wise, this was Friday, neutral day. For the week, 1.5%. For the month, this is where you can see it. I've had a good month. The economy is trying to come back. I think the Dow Jones hit and stayed at 30,000 points. If you're curious to see what I'm holding, like I say, there is a link in the description box below. Definitely click on that if you're interested. I don't like going into individual stocks. I'm not a financial advisor or financial planner, and there's definitely better YouTubers out there that go into further detail regarding which stocks to get and things like that. That's above my head. But as you can see here with the activity this week, we got paid quite a bit of dividends. It was a good week, and a lot of these dividend payouts, they're actually above $1, which is actually pretty neat. Definitely a big difference from my very first dividend payout, which I believe was Apple, which I could show you here real quick. And it definitely excited me. So this was literally my very first dividend payout, which was 8 pennies, as you can see here. And I started my portfolio on July 20th, but my very first payout from Apple, 8 cents. Comparing it to now, we're in the dollar, close to $2 range. So we got paid from Aflac, Pfizer, J.M. Smucker, Southwest Gas Holdings, Visa, American Water Works. We deposited another $500 into the account. If you've noticed, this time it was also on Wednesday. But that's because last week I did it on Wednesday. And M1 Finance is so, it's so nice. It does things automatically for you. I forgot to switch it back to Thursday, so it automatically had it on Wednesday. But besides that, nothing else has changed. So after that deposit of $500, I purchased $506 into the companies, and then I also got paid by Sherwin-Williams on December 4th. So overall, really good week. We're up 18% in the portfolio. We got paid quite a bit in dividends. And that snowball effect, it's happening. $506 versus the $500 I put in. $6 of snowball action. I will take it every single time. But that's going to be it for this week's video. I hope you guys have a good weekend coming up. Hopefully you feel refreshed going into the week ahead. Life isn't a race. I know for me, I struggle always thinking about the future, but I always challenge myself and have to remain present as well. And maybe some of you guys also struggle with that, just as I do. But if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I usually don't say that. And subscribe. I usually don't say that either. But this series, it's not going to stop anytime soon. I'm going to continue going with it. I really enjoy pushing out these videos every week and just documenting my journey, holding myself accountable, and seeing my progress. So I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.